Oh, I've been waiting a long time for this one, and I know you guys have too. So I'm gonna jump straight into it. No BS tonight. Um, we have with us the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Duke Fontaine himself in the house, guys.
Hey,
and that's a real picture of him captured in the wild too. That's a real photo.
That's a real six-pack right there. Don't you even think it's not?
That's right. That is real. Yeah, it looks like several six-packs. It looks like several six-packs.
Sorry for being so ripped, guys. Just
yeah.
Oh my Lord, too much. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, we tried to do this a couple times, and life happens, things occur.
Wars happen.
But I'm super excited to have you here because what the guys in the peanut gallery over here don't know is that you don't understand the following that you have. You don't understand the level of fanship that you have.
Not really.
From this. But because you have to keep these separate for a reason, and I know the reason, and I don't blame you. But the fact that you're on here tonight, so everybody can hear you, and guys, hashtag Duke, like the crawler at the bottom says, you got questions, put them up, hashtag Duke, so that we can any pointed and direct questions you guys want. That's what he's here for tonight.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because we want to make sure everybody gets to get what they want out of this one. This is a big deal. But we've been doing these now so when Penguin sent me some audio recordings, they're like, we want you to, we're going to pick a narrator. So they sent me out, I think, 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I listened to all these guys, and I heard you, and I was like, I replied back to them like, I like this guy. And they're like, perfect. That's who we wanted. Great. So Penguin had already had you kind of slotted, and the fact that I agreed.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I think you were like my second book I was new to the game, and I just auditioned, and then so I learned a lot from doing these books about this type of work, actually. And so I'd done a couple, so I wasn't green, but yeah, it was right. It was a big okay, like here, let's jump in, and it was cool.
Look at they're all over the chat, dude. They're like all over the chat.
Dude. Like, who is this motherfucker?
It's cool, so man. Good. It's so good. So we did 5 books with Penguin. You did them all, and then did I ever tell you the story of why the relationship with Penguin ended? Did you ever hear that?
No, I was curious because there was a moment there where it shifted to Podium. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Is that Yes. And then, but I think even there was an in between phase where I did one of the Charlie books totally independent. Like I had to hire a studio and shit. Like it was a few years back, but I never knew what went south there.
So we were negotiating to do more books. Penguin had changed their publisher. That's what they call the guy that runs a publishing company. He's the publisher. And we were negotiating to do some more books, and everything was great. But as they say, negotiations broke down because he used the phrase in our conversation of, well, I'd hate to see you giving $5 blowjobs online when you could be selling books through me. And that pretty much ended any relationship I had with Penguin.
What does that even mean? Like,
yeah, there's something behind that, but I'll tell you that later. But because Amazon wanted me to write a book for them, and I told Penguin that I'm cool, but Amazon wants me to write this little thing, stick that in here, and that's when he used that line that they didn't want me to do the Amazon book. Okay. So I told him that he could fuck himself in every hole he had,
for sure.
And I'm like, and I am contractually fulfilled because I negotiated in good faith. I'm going in a different direction. And then my knees got weak, and I had to sit down. I was on my front porch. I had to sit down on my steps, and I was just like, what did I just fucking do?
Oh, man.
And that same day, Podium called. Because when I first released Going Home, when I self-published it, Podium had reached out to me to do the audiobook. And I did a deal with them. But then when Penguin came around, Penguin told me like, hey, we want the audio. You got to get Podium to release it. So I called the guys at Podium, explained to them what was happening. And to their credit, this is why I have so much respect for Podium Publishing. They're like, we do not want to do this. They said, but we understand how big a deal this is for you as an author. So we will release the rights to them.
That's
so
cool.
They sold it to him for $30,000, which was, I was like, good for you.
Yeah, right.
But the same day that I told Podium to pound sand, John Simmons in the house. I'm seeing some names in here tonight. This is cool. The same day I told Podium to pound sand, I told Penguin to pound sand, Podium called me. And they're like, hey, we regret ever releasing the rights to your books. They're like, if we can ever work together again in the future, just let us know.
And that was I'm like, total coincidence?
Total coincidence. Someone in Penguin had to have called them.
Yeah, right. Because that's too.
If it was pure coincidence, then that's just the universe in action.
Yeah, for sure.
So I told them, well, funny you should call. Told them what happened. They're like, we'll send you a contract right now. I was like, hold on. I said, we can't change narrators in the middle of the series. I said, I got to keep Duke. And they're like, oh, that won't be a problem. And I'm like, yeah, well, this is contract world. And if it ain't in black and white, it didn't happen. I said, so you guys need to get him. Right. And then I'm good. And they're like, well, we can't negotiate with him without a contract from you. So I said, all right, send me a contract with a 72-hour sunset clause that they acquire you.
Okay. I didn't know any of this.
Oh, yeah. And they're like, done. So I came in my office. I printed the contract, signed it, scanned it, emailed it back to them. They called me at like 10 o'clock the next morning. He's in. They must have called you the minute they got that contract from me, probably.
Wow. Yeah. Because I got it. Because, I don't. And from my perspective, I don't like agents don't really go near audiobook stuff for actors or voiceover actors and stuff. So it's kind of on my own here. And Mosaic, which is the local studio here, they probably reached out to me and said, hey, Podium's asking, or maybe some from Podium directly actually said, hey, are you interested in doing it? I'm like, sure, fuck yeah. But I didn't know that there was any like blip. I knew there was a change, like there was a shift, but I didn't know there was anything weird or that's wild. That's interesting to hear.
Yeah. That's why I told him, I said, I gotta have Duke read the books. So you got to get him.
That's awesome, dude. I love it. I love it.
And here we are. We're 13.
Here we are like deep. A million years later.
Well, 12 deep, 13 coming. Yeah. It's been a while, man. This has been going on since 2010, That's
true. That is when I look back and I think about it, I'm like, that is crazy because the company that I had started with, they're kind of in some weird hot water now. So they're not really doing books anymore. And then there's all kinds of stuff going on there. But at some stage of the game, I decided personally to shift to a different post-production studio to work with. It doesn't really affect anybody. It's sort of up to me in a way. And they're great. And they've been with me ever since and with this book. But so it's been through a lot of changes. So when I think back to that first book, it was a lifetime ago in a way, it seems, but look at you, man. It's come quite a long way.
Along with Patrick Seven, you'll let a lot of men talk you to sleep. Jack, Johnny, Jim, you'll let them guys talk you to sleep.
That's hilarious.
But look at the accolades, man. The king of audiobook narration.
I know, you guys are too much, man. I love it. That's so funny. Because I don't like Russ was saying, I don't necessarily I put a books out and I might look at the reviews and just say, hey, what's the ballpark of how this is going? Because you want to make sure that the work you're doing is good. Because there's, it's a solitary kind of gig, right? And a lot of us, because of whether using aliases and things like that, you don't really know who knows, And so when I looked at the high reviews, I felt good. I'm like, oh, cool. People really seem to like it. And I was more happy for you, frankly, because it's good. That's helping you move books and it's telling your story. But I never really got into the nitty gritty about what people actually thought. So it's when we talked recently and you were, kind of trying to get this interview going again, you were like, hey man, there's a whole world out there of people who like these books a lot. And that, of course, it makes me feel good. So I'm just happy that I'm happy you're happy.
Well, it's not me. It's the readers, man. You make them happy. They say you bring the books to life. There's so many requests over here already for let me see here. They want to hear the voices. They're all asking you. Like we got a bunch of these over here.
I'll answer some shit. Let's see.
They want to hear voices. They got. Let me see.
Oh man, I got to dig up.
Yeah, you got to dig down.
Dad's got that low voice.
Get that deep. Got to get that baritone.
He's got that deep voice. You know, I'm like, I don't want to make anyone sound like a clown or put on like weird accents, you know, especially when you're dealing with ethnicity or stuff like that. So it's like you want to kind of go in a direction without being an idiot. But I mean, some of these voices, like, you know, the Morgan voice is like, you know, it's my voice a little deeper. And that's kind of like a hero type voice, right? It's like the guy who's seen it all, been there. Everyone else is kind of, you know, you can get a little more charactery. And I was going to ask you too, as a, you know, depending on how much of it you actually do listen to, like as an author, is it annoying if you've got a narrator, and I guess in this case me, who's going like too far with a voice, or that's like, oh dude, this is like
it's
over
like
the top or not enough.
You set the tone perfectly. The only gig I ever had, and I don't blame you for this, is the town of Umatilla. It's Umatilla. And I know Penguin told you to pronounce it the other way. Because Penguin had sent me a list of words one time. And they're like, can you send us like an audio recording of these words, how they're said? And so I did that. And then they called me back and they're like, hey, look, we called the post office down there and they say it's Umatilla. And I was like, well, I don't care what that Yankee working at the fucking post office told you. I said, but those of us that live here call it Umatilla. Oh shit. So that was my only one.
That was, you know, and again, I was learning a lot doing this in a way because it was I had no idea that this was going to be a series, right? Like necessarily at first. So as it went on and you realize as I was getting into the audiobook world too, like when you're dealing with names of towns and also the you want to be very specific because you can make mistakes happen, you know, sometimes, you know, you were good about sending me some information, but generally when I work with authors, they don't send you anything. So I got to go look all this shit up. And sometimes you might hear something on YouTube, like welcome back to, you know, Umatilla. And that jackass has never been there. And they're just, you know, and so I'm basing it off of, so you want to make sure you get, you know, because sometimes locals call names of towns different than even some other locals call it.
Yep.
Right. And that I learned that, especially Florida's got all kinds of wild pronunciations of certain towns.
Oh,
and there's even debates within each other about how you should pronounce the name of the town. I'm like, oh my God. So, I know. So there were some goofs along the way for sure.
That's all right. I mean, you know, but that was
sorry,
a
everyone
one
from Umatilla.
No, because Penguin wanted to argue with me. You know, they wanted to argue with me about it. You know, which I thought was hilarious. I didn't
fuck up. Yeah,
no, it wasn't your fuck up. It was them.
When you goof up, when I goof up, which I have, it's like, oh, oops, my bad. You know, and most people hopefully don't. But you know, you invest yourself in a world, especially when you're dealing with localities. It's like someone asshole is saying the wrong name of a town you live in.
Yeah.
You're like, dude, this is annoying.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's okay, but that's really annoying. So sorry, everybody. I think that was just one. That was just one book, right? I think.
Yeah, it was a couple of them. Well, probably the first 5 actually.
Oh, you're kidding.
Probably because that was all Penguin. The first 5 were all
That's
Penguin.
what was so confusing because what we do when something sounds a little off to us, we look it up. Me and the engineer will look. Hey, this doesn't sound right. And then and he's always like, dude, go off the word list. Go off the word list. Like whatever the publisher send. I had an author I read for. He gave me an incorrect pronunciation of one of his main characters. It was a Russian name.
Oh.
And so I did it his way. And the publishing house came back and said, dude, that's not how you say that name. I'm like, well, that's what the author fucking thinks it sounds like. He wrote it.
No.
And then I had to go back and fix all of it. And so, it can get weird.
Shit.
Like you want to figure out like, what's the chain of command? Like, because I'm just going to go off of what these people tell me.
Chain of command here is very, very vertical. You and me. That's it. That's the chain of command. You got, and that's the beauty of it now. So,
And that, and years ago when we got in touch with each other, it was cool because it was like, all right, let's, I can ask you directly if there's a question I have or something like that. And that's always really cool for a narrator because you generally don't shoot the shit with the authors too much. On occasion, we reach out to each other, but
yeah.
sometimes authors don't give a rat's ass, which is bizarre to me because if I wrote a book and some dude was doing my narration, I'd be like, hey, yo, like, let's get on the same page here, or at least, yeah.
You're as big a part of this. I mean, when people mention the Going Home series, I mean, your name comes up. And Penguin, the funny thing is, like, Penguin called me one time, and they're like, "Hey, we got a couple questions." I'm like, "What's that?" They're like, "The readers of your book are buying the ebook, they're buying the printed book, and they're buying the audiobook.
Mm.
They're buying them on all three formats."
Wow.
And I was like, "Okay." They're like, "How are you getting them to do that?" And I was like, "I don't know. Told a good story,
Right.
And then Amazon called me and asked me basically the exact same thing. They asked me a few more questions, and it was kind of funny talking to Amazon because when I kind of answered this woman's questions, she went, "Oh," she's like, "You're one of those," and I was like, "One of what?" She's like, "A unicorn." She's like, "You're what everybody wants to be. You're successful in traditional publishing. You're successful in self-publishing."
Yeah.
And you're very successful in audio publishing. I'm like, "Well, that ain't got shit to do with me." I said, "That's Duke Fontaine."
But thanks, dude. But that's cool. That I mean, like we talked about the other day when we chatted a bit before this. It's like, it's something that I was sharing some of my, like, some of the impetus behind wanting to do a decent job, other than the obvious, like you're a professional and they're paying you and you got to do it. It's also a recognition of a listenership and also like revenue stream too, which people don't like to talk about sometimes. It gets weird, but it is a reality. It's like, hey man, I never want to F with anyone's money. And so it's like, and because I established a rapport with you, when I do get into the booth, I'm like, not to say I don't take other stuff as seriously, you do, but I pay extra close attention because I understand that you have this excellent, amazing fan base, and you want to make sure that people are digging this because it's a lot of detail and there's a big worlds to build out, and it can be quite exhausting, frankly. But it's also
I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure. Like here, like right here, Max saying, he likes your narration so well, he went and listened to the Lemera series.
That's cool.
That you do just because he likes your voice.
And he's like, that book sucks. I'm just kidding. No, but that's cool. I mean, that's awesome. Like, it's always cool because, like I said, like this is work that I personally just sort of self-generate in many ways. And so you always want to make sure that, you're effective. And, like I was saying to Russ earlier before we started, like I'm not reading everybody a book. I am the book. I am the story.
Yeah.
That's a very different thing. And it's immediate. You're in the action. You're right there with everybody. And that, if you can't convey that, you're in big trouble. And it sounds like I'm reciting a book to people, which is not what should be happening.
I don't, they don't feel that way, man. They genuinely don't feel that way.
Like which is the goal.
Yeah. Because everybody has the audiobooks, and a lot of these guys will read the books too, and they'll say that when they're reading the book, they're reading it in your voice in their head. They're hearing your voice when they read the book.
Yeah, right. Yeah, sure. Because it's the next thing they got to their own imagination, and even for you who wrote it, you have ideas in your head about what these people sound like, and so if you just have to chance it and say, hey, okay, cool. I hope this all aligns.
Yeah. Well, it aligned well. You've done fantastic.
Well, thank you very much.
So, Brett, how many? Don't know. That's mainly up to you guys. I figure there's 20 books worth of story there. We're at 12, so that means 8 more at least. But we'll see what happens after that. I got another thing on deck that Duke will read as well. That I'm not going to get into a whole lot. A little more of a kind of surveillance state techno thriller sort of thing.
Nice.
Demonstrating what one really pissed off guy with a little bit of smarts can do when things are against him in every fashion.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's
your
great, man.
biggest competition here, dude, needs to pick up the rest of post-apoc authors as Kevin Pierce starts to wind down. So Kevin Pierce is a dude. He is the voice of the apocalypse. That's what everybody calls him.
Nice.
And I know him. He's a friend of mine. And he asked me one time. He said, he's like, "When are you going to let me narrate one of your books?" And I was like, "Fucking never." I said, "You've got everybody else out there." I said, "You've got everybody else out there." Right. I said, Duke's my narrator." I said, I'm not leaving him."
Hell yeah.
I said, but it was, he laughed. It was funny.
Yeah, so. Of course. That's awesome, dude. It's awesome. And like, it's common when you link up with an author and let's say it's going well, unless you fuck up or something happens royally bad, you're going to be working with that author for a while. And so it is nice to have that rapport for the listeners as well, where it's like, okay, we've established that this is the world. Because I've replaced narrators, and man, that's not cool. Because like the casting director,
we're connected to the hip, bro. This is a lifetime.
Hell yeah, dude! I've learned a lot about. I've learned about stuff that I never knew I needed or wanted to know about. Frankly, in a lot of ways, I was like, oh, "This is a world." Like I'm a city slicker, right? So for me, I was like, "This is wild," and it's been an education on a lot of different levels for me. Which I've appreciated.
That's awesome. I'm glad you're learning some stuff too, and I'm glad that you enjoy doing it. Here we go. What's this? This is from Miss Christy Renee. Have you lent your voice to any other media, radio, TV? When did you realize you have a voice and acting chops to narrate?
Hi, Christine. Thanks for the question. Yeah, well, I mean, I've been an actor since I was a teenager, not professionally, but I was doing theater and stuff as a kid, and then I went to drama school and lived in New York and did theater and all that, and so I've been acting for a while, and the voice stuff was sort of always there. Like I've done a bunch of video games. I did this game called Dynasty Warriors. That was a big kind of Chinese hit. Like that was a big thing in the sort of Asian market, and I've done a bunch of commercials. And I've been narrating. I've probably done over 200 or 150 plus books. Wow. And then the rest has been like, I don't do a lot of video games these days, unfortunately. I would like to, but it's a very competitive market. But I've done a lot of games. And for me, it's just fun, man. Because, I like to do on-camera stuff too. Of course, that's kind of, but, when it's voice, like when you're on camera, you are stuck with your look, whether you like your look or not.
Yeah.
And if you're famous, they'll wig you up and give you all kinds of funny things. But if you're not, they're looking at you, and that limits you, right? Like it's like, okay, if you look like X, you're going to be playing that guy.
That same character and everything you do, that's your guy.
Yeah. If you got a baseball hat and a beard, you're okay. What does that mean? You're going to play this, or this, And then, whereas with voice, you play men, women, children, all kinds of ethnicities, different genres. Right.
Like to that point right there.
That's what kind of made me, that's what made me, to answer Christine's question, like I've been doing it for a while, but it's primarily like video games and audiobooks.
And see right here, Brian says, he goes, "I like Duke's voice range. He could do girl voices and deep male voices and never sound lame."
Brian, my man, thank you, buddy. Because listen, this is a thing. All right. This is an issue I sometimes suffer with, because when you're doing female voices, like you can't go into a falsetto, because that would be insane. But some narrators do. But at the same time, when I listen to the female characters back, sometimes I'm like, "Hey, Joe, get over here." And I'm like, "Oh, fuck, that was supposed to be Martha, and she's supposed to be a 25-year-old woman. And I sound like a 60-year-old drunk guy." And so you have to kind of watch yourself, where you find that sweet spot where if you just pitch it up a little bit, that's Mel talking. And if it's more, because you want to, the goal ultimately is so you differentiate the voices. But sometimes with those female characters, it's like, oh man, is this going to sound lame? Because you kind of just go with your gut on it. Because I don't have a booth director. There's an engineer, but I'm kind of like my own kind of quality management guy, or whatever you want to call it, where it's like I have to self-edit and go, hang on, let's go back. That sounded like shit. Let's pitch her up a little bit without sounding like a goofball,
Right. But here's one of the most notorious
Fuck ups.
Missed. Yeah. This one lives in infamy. This one does.
Oh no. Oh,
well, it's a hilarious one. It's a hilarious one to me because it was Jeff's rifle. The rifle was a Mosin Nagant rifle that he carried, and it was often referred to as a peasant rifle. And you called it a pheasant rifle.
Pheasant rifle. Oh,
and I was
God,
like,
I didn't even know.
What the fuck is a pheasant rifle?
Dude, I didn't even know. Sorry, everybody. Oh my goodness, I didn't even know I did that until just now.
But see, that kind of gaff to me is hilarious. It's because it was hilarious.
Right. You're like, this guy doesn't know shit.
That's just one of those ones that it gets brought up. People to mention it in humor, not because they're pissed, because they laugh at it.
You gotta laugh. The biggest one, the most. I knew there was a few goofs. I knew the Umatilla, and I didn't know about the pheasant. That's actually very funny. Sorry, everybody. But the one that I fucked up, that I feel I don't know what I was thinking, because I certainly know what it is the what was it? The NAPA.
Oh, Napa. Yeah. NAPA.
NAPA Auto Parts. I'm like, what the? I didn't even. It's like, because I'm not trying to make excuses, everybody, but like when you're in that way, having said that, sometimes your brain is dumb, and other times you don't know. There's certainly mistakes that you don't know you made. But if it's like that's tired brain. I've been in the booth for, I don't know, 7 hours, and you're just kind of you're going through it, and you're just in a zone, and then you go,
you're reading the words,
and that's why you have
the words.
But we have an engineer. They're supposed to correct that, right? And so, because there's someone with me, and just in case people don't know how this audiobook thing works, like I'm at a studio. I don't do it from home. Most narrators do it from home and like in their closet, but I go to a studio, and I'm in a booth, and I've got my script. I got all my prep, all that shit that I've worked weeks on trying to prep, and then the engineer is following along with me and correcting mistakes. So there is some and then it goes to editing and proofing, and so the fact that it got from my mouth through his ears, through the proofer, the editor, and it somehow, that's what kind of blows my mind. It's like, damn, everyone missed it.
Everybody missed it. Yeah.
So yeah, dude. I mean, I got to laugh at it myself, but I'm like, oh fuck. You never want to make mistakes, obviously.
Well, you could tell that of all those people that went through, none of them have turned wrenches. So don't worry about it. They wouldn't know what a Napa was. Those are people that take their cars to the dealer for service.
It's like, dude, it's Napa. Like, why do you? Come on, bro. Like sometimes you know that, like, oh, because especially with a lot of the military stuff, I'm like, I know a smidge about guns, right? But very little.
Yeah.
In my personal life, I know a hell of a lot more now. And so, I mean, I shot 22s in the woods with my friends and shit, and like, you know what I mean. We would go to a gun range once in a while and blow off some crazy stuff, but like that's about it. So some stuff you're like, okay, I need to get this right, because these listeners, like, this is like, they know this shit.
Yeah.
They know it, they like it, and they've used it probably, right? And so it's like, okay,
I got a safe full of it. I got a safe.
Yeah, I got to be in, you got to get in the world, man. You got to get in the world and understand that you're not, this is not a cartoon. These are real. This is not an idea of a person. This is a person. And that's for all acting, by the way. And you're playing a villain. No villain thinks they're a villain. They're trying to save the world. No one thinks that they're like, you can't twirl the mustache and act like a cartoon villain. Like, you got to really be there, even if it's a point of view or even a politics, let's say, that you don't agree with. And I'm sure you can concur as a writer, right? Because you're going to be you got to write characters that you might think are just fucking whack, man. Like they're just not cool. Like, and then
we wrote some pretty sick bastards into this. We wrote some pretty sick assholes in here who thought they were doing the right thing, and some of them knew they were doing the wrong thing, but they still weren't the cartoon villain,
Right.
So I get what you're saying, and it's funny. Jeff is one of the characters brought up more than any other character.
That is so.
I get so much flack for him dying. Jeff, it's a hard world.
I understand that, because you get attached, and sometimes the character, whatever it is, even if they don't have a huge bit, like there's something about the way you've written a character that resonates, and you don't want to see them go, man. And sometimes there are characters that you wish would go, and they don't.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
like you get attached to these characters for sure. Oh my God, I'd have to go through. There's hundreds of characters. I would have to do. Give me a second on that. I'll see if I can muster a Jeff for you.
Muster a Jeff. Yeah. Yeah. Here. I don't know if you have these, blooper reel at the end. That'd be funny. I know you don't have that handy or pulled off.
No,
that would be hilarious.
That would be actually be great. I wonder if we could,
Yeah.
because sometimes I ask when I do find up, like usually on the day when we're recording and I know I goofed on something, like the engineer will play back the mistake before we correct it. And it is funny. I mean, I would, that would be actually fun to have. Like that would take some time. You need an intern.
Yeah.
Man, you need someone to go through and be like, hey, find all this goofballs mistakes and let's make a reel out of it.
It'd be funny. We could probably make it its own audiobook and they'd buy it. I guarantee you they'd buy it.
The outtakes, the bloopers. Yeah. The blooper reel. Oh my goodness. That's so funny.
This was a one for me. Yes, there is a map. And if you reach out to Russ or Mel and ask them to remind me to get you the map, you can get it that way. Reaching out to me, you probably won't get it because I'm so far behind on messages and stuff because I'm very, very busy right now. But hit up one of them two. Dude,
that would be very cool.
Oh, I have a map of Morgan's neighborhood. Russ, if you've got that in your computer, man, is there any way you could pull that up, put it on the screen? I thought I sent it to you. I don't remember.
I don't think you did. I mean, I would have liked that.
Oh, dude. Well, I'll email that to you because I did a very nice map done that shows.
Oh man,
where Thad's house is, where the bunker is, where people died, where everyone's home is, the layout of the neighborhood, nice. and it's done real cool. I'll email that to you.
Super cool, man.
You'll dig that.
That's great. I want it.
I'll get it for you.
It's one thing I enjoyed as a narrator, kind of getting intimate, so to speak, with the material is like, it's like I have my own idea of what this looks like. And the more I know, the more I can visualize, the better, and how far away. So I had my own version of that, where I'm like, okay, this is.
I never thought of that,
because like how far away is this? Which means how far away is he from his wife? Or when he's going through some, it's at night and he's going through some creek and he's got his NVGs on and how far is that swim, or how far is it from this town? Like, because it gives you a sense of like, wow, these guys have a long way to go. Like, or shit.
Well,
they were so, yeah.
I have a Google Earth file that when I was writing Going Home, I would mark every location on the Google Earth map. And I have that saved as a file that you could take that and drop it into your Google Earth and you'll see the scene of the location of every scene. And you
should send that to your listeners, man. They'll dig the shit out of it.
Well, I put it out there.
You did, yeah.
I put it out to a bunch of folks.
That's cool.
And if people ask, I said, I need to put it somewhere where like on my website where they just download it. That's what I need to do.
It's like Game of Thrones, it opens with it's like you see the map of the world and you're like, okay, like this is what we're dealing with here. And because it's so specific, and I've always was blown away by your specificity. And I'm like, is he sitting out here in this neighborhood, like describing these houses? And like I'm always blown away by novelists and how you're able to build out a world so specifically. It still blows my mind. It's like a magic trick to me. And so you have an immense amount of detail, which I always appreciated about this series.
I like to say that I write faction, not fiction. I write fact-based fiction.
Nice.
It's fact-based fiction. It's like all the locations are real. Like even in the books, and I don't even know if you knew this, like in Surviving Home, where all of the executive orders get talked about of the things that the government's doing, and they're enacting this executive order. Those are real and legit. Like if you look that executive order up, you can read it for yourself and see that, that's actually in there. They can actually do that. So
I sensed it. I don't know if I looked it up literally at the time. I'm trying to remember, but I got the sense that whatever you are talking about in that regard is the real deal. which is pretty wild if you think about it. You're like, holy hell.
It is. That's why some people tell me now that they hate their postman. They don't like the mailman no more. They don't trust them fuckers.
Oh, right. Man, I'm very curious. I wish I could interview your listeners too, because it's about, like, obviously the people who, whether you subscribe to a point of view or you're a prepper, let's say, and you're like, you got a basement full of shit or a warehouse or a bunker, or you're just like, you don't at all, but you're like me, like, and I do have a little, but I got wise to a lot of this stuff in a way that I hadn't before I started involving myself in this. And so it's interesting because I took my safety and security and supply chain ideas about what I have access to for granted completely. And so it's like, oh
yeah,
man. And we've had all kinds of wild shit out here in LA.
Oh yeah,
with
you guys,
fires and earthquakes, and it's like, hey, you gotta, you gotta be prepared. And what I appreciated about getting into these stories is really the detail, and how I'm like, you know what, this is helpful. It's fun and interesting, but it's also like, you're so specific that it's like, no, dude, this is how this will go down. And I love that.
The big part of it. That's a big part of the books is putting those real world, practical, useful items in play. Like in book 13, we get into some more technical stuff as far as like the communications that they're trying to achieve, because Morgan and crew have to make a pretty far run from home. And it's how do they maintain communication back to the Ponderosa? How do they stay in touch with Sarge and stuff like that? And there's ways to do it. And I go into detail, like I'll explain how the antenna is built, like the exact measurements of this antenna exactly. So like reading it, you could build that antenna, by reading the book and do exactly what is said in the book.
Yeah,
and it's important to me to have that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great, because so many people, whether you're watching a show, reading a book, they just kind of whiz over that stuff, and you're like, man, I mean, I remember I did a film about Hitler's youth years ago, and they were breezing over some pretty important historical information. And this one dude was on set going, this didn't happen until 1919. And they're like, oh, no one gives a shit. I'm like, this is a historical film. They do.
Yeah.
What's why don't you just get it right, man? Get it right. Like, if you're going to take the time to write about it, get it right.
Exactly. Now I want to throw this one up there just because I'm a Southern boy.
Yep.
Is this one here? And John Simmons is a dear friend of mine.
Oh no, is this going to be am I getting roasted over here?
No, this is just on kudzu. just on kudzu.
Kudzu. Kudzu?
Yeah.
My bad.
Well, he pronounces it that way, but kudzu is the correct pronunciation.
Correct way. Right.
Yes. And you did kudzu in the book, but kudzu is the appropriate, which is like him. And I'm just giving you that one because as a boy from the South, that's an invasive thing that we have to deal with, and it overtakes everything in its damn path.
Oh man.
Here's one for you too. Seriously, thank you for telling them to stick with Duke after I finished the whole series. I went to Mad Mick and I kept turning it off because Kevin's voice is so much different. I'm gonna tell Kevin that the next time I see him.
Peace and love. It's not a
comment. Yeah. Hey, and here's a nod to you. Here's a nod to you. Right there. At least you get all the gun stuff. You get all the gun stuff.
You get into it and you learn. And my brother is a vet, and I'd ask him some stuff too. And you get into the mindset. And even though I don't have an arsenal of guns in my personal life, I was familiar with a lot of it just from being alive and knowing about something.
Yeah.
But a lot of I wasn't, and so it's like I wanted to make sure, aside from some obvious gaffes here and there, that you get it right, and you want to make sure that it's all about world building. And anything that takes you out of the world is a problem. And that's on camera, that's voiceover, that's a audiobook narration. If something is mispronounced or something's wrong, it's just like, dude, I'm in the world here.
My wife hates watching movies with me and stuff like that because I'll be like, that would never happen. I'm like, that guy's rifle don't even have sights on it. That guy's optic is on backwards. Like,
right.
you know, I mean,
well, yeah, I bet you get, I mean, because, you know, yeah, it's interesting for you because even, I mean, we only know what we know. I mean, you can't, you know, not everyone knows everything. And you might have, yeah.
On a big film, they hire, what do they call them? They hire,
like,
they hire
experts,
yeah, you know,
or continuity people and
continuity people, or like their military advisor. Like, all right, they're military advisor or their weapons advisors, and it's like, how did they let that? If that advisor let that slide, that guy never needs to work again. You know, that kind of thing. It just because for those of us that know, and especially in the firearms community, they will pick guns apart, man. I will tell you that. That's one of the biggest things in film.
Yep.
And you know, there's more guns in this country than there are people, so there's a lot of people that know a lot about guns. And that drives us insane to see shit.
Especially when you got people. Anytime you got someone telling a story that's not their story and they're acting like it is their story, it's like, or they don't take the time to understand how to get something right. It's like, come on. And, you know, and yes, mistakes happen and that kind of thing, but it's like, you want to honor that. And because there's a whole bunch of people who are going to jump on you for that shit.
Yeah. So here's a comment that he said, Dynasty Warriors. Was that the game you're talking about?
Yeah. I played this character, Soon Jun.
Well, there you go. You had a fan from right there, man. He's like, that was his favorite game.
I'll take it. Thanks, pal.
Going way back, man. Going way back.
Cool. That's awesome, man. But it's been it's an amazing world you created. That's for damn sure.
It's been a lot of fun. You know, it's did I ever tell you the story of how the book even happened? I mean, these guys have heard it, but I don't know if I ever told you. So I wrote the first book on a forum, on a survival forum that I was a member of. So this was, 2010, 2009, probably started it, 2010. And just there was a fiction section on this forum, and I was reading some of the stories, and I'm like, some of these are atrocious. Some of these are just bad. And I'm like, they're all lacking something. And I was like, yeah, fuck it. I'm going to write a story. Yeah. So literally the first night I was sitting in the living room, everybody's in bed, had a bottle of whiskey beside me. I wrote 5,000 words. And you can appreciate that. That's a chunk, dude. 5,000 words is a chunk.
For sure.
So I banged out a 5,000 word piece, just literally off the top of my head on the fly.
Wow.
And posted it, went to bed, didn't think shit about it. Wake up the next morning, I'm driving to work, get my BlackBerry out, I'm sitting at a red light, pull up the website, and there's just dozens and dozens of comments. Wow. And Russ and a few of the other monkeys in the peanut gallery over here, they're OGs. They were reading the story when I was writing it online on the forum. Wow. And that turned into its whole own thing. It had over 2 million views on the forum, and those guys were pressuring me to publish it. And I was like, I'm not a writer. So nobody's gonna pay money for this crap. I'm like, here, I'll write you another one. So I wrote the second book on there too. But one of the clowns on there posted my PayPal account. And they're like, send them money, we'll make them publish it. And people did. Nice. They sent like $4,000 to me. And I was like, you bastards. I'm like, all right, look here. Literally, this is exactly what I said. I'm like, you bastards. I'm like, all right, look, I'll get this made into a book, so you guys can have your copies if you'll just leave me alone about it.
Right.
And I wasn't taking it serious. I didn't think much about it. I had no idea what I was starting. And so I paid a vanity press, because Amazon self-publishing didn't exist back then. So I paid a vanity press, and it went out, and the first editions are awful. The editing is terrible. I think whoever edited it, English was their second language or third language, because the editing is so bad. But it took off. I mean, it sold like wildfire. And 6 weeks after it was out, Penguin called, made an offer, which I turned down, which blew their mind. I'll never forget Phil Budnick. He was like, if I made this offer to any other author, they'd wet themselves. I'm like, well, then fucking call them. I don't care if your name's in my book. And I hung up.
What
And he
was
called
your
me back.
skepticism? Was it skepticism? Was it like hardball, or were you just like, I'm doing my own thing? Or
Well,
what was it?
the offer they made me, I'm like, dude, I made more than that last month on Amazon.
Got it. So they were lowballing the hell out of you.
Oh, they were lowballing me hard because 2 weeks later, they found religion or something, and they called me back. And we're up in Ohio with my wife's family, Mel, with her family. So I'm in the basement of this house, avoiding all of them, just getting shithouse drunk on Mike's hard grape things because we're in Ohio. There was no good whiskey around. I'm drinking this garbage, but I'm getting shit faced. And he calls me again, and he's like, "Hey, I bet you never thought you'd hear from me again." And I'm half in the bag, so I'm like, "Dude, I stopped thinking about you last time I hung up on you. What do you want now?"
That's a good line.
And he's like, "Well, I got a new number for you." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, what's that?" And he gives it to me, and I like literally look at my phone, and then I go, "So what? Were you trying to fuck me the first time?" And he goes, he's like, no. You know, there's risk involved for us. You know, there's risk involved. I'm like, no. I'm like, dude, you called me. I'm like, you see the numbers. I'm not stupid. I'm like, we can talk about this one. I said, let's talk, and that's how we did the deal. But it was just humorous the way it worked out. And Phil was a great guy.
Humorous. But it's also like getting, what's that?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying, like, knowing, know this idea of just knowing your worth, or knowing what, because sometimes people jump because they go, oh wow, it's a big publisher, and you don't, if you hadn't had the experience of selling stuff on your own and understanding what you had, you could have very well been like, yeah, sure, fuck it. But you already had that sense of what you had, and that there was an audience there, and so I think it's great that you could just tell them to go fuck off.
That was the thing I knew, is that I already had an audience, and people, I've been asked a million times, like, guys want to get started in the writing, and there's several people in here that I helped get into it. Russ is an author now. He's got books out.
That's what he was saying.
But they asked me like how to do it, and I'm like, look, the best thing I can tell you is, number one, don't look at me as an example, because what happened to me is like getting struck by lightning. I said, but I will tell you this: build your audience first, and when people tell you to publish, listen to them then. And then, because if people are asking to give you their money, do it, and
it's true, man. I mean, I worked in a music venue part-time for a while, and it's the same thing with musicians. It's like, you can bitch and moan that some big fat label doesn't want to sign you, but why would they? They don't know you. You have to teach people how to treat you and how to think about you. And the best way to do that is to do it. Get on stage and play, and people show up, and they're like, oh, you're great. And then they're going to come sniffing around. So it's a good advice to any artist of any kind of genre, whether you want to fancy yourself as an artist or not. You are, I mean, it's a creative field, and no one's asking you to do this. Well, in your case, that maybe they were, but generally speaking, but it's like, this is your deal. You got to generate that. And that's cool that you had that sense of yourself at that time to say, yo, like, it's not going to fly.
Man. Yeah, that wasn't going to work. And
that must, I'm dying to know this number. Not because I want to know what you're earning, but I'm just, it sounds like it was a draft.
It went from a 5-digit number to a hefty 6-digit number.
Wow.
I'll just say that.
That would have made you spit out your Mike's hard cider or whatever the fuck.
It was an eightfold increase.
Oh wow.
They went 8 times their first offer.
Yeah, that would have pissed me off. I'm like, really, dude? Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then so Phil Budnick, the guy that got me in, we go to Denver to do a preparedness expo. Yeah. And Penguin brings in 600 copies of the first 3 books. Mm-hmm. We have 200 copies of each, and to give away. And I was shocked at how hard it was to give those books away at the time. And two funny anecdotes from that is, one is I signed a book for this one older lady, and she takes it, and the next day she comes back and she's back in the line, and she comes up, she throws the book on the table, and she's like, I can't believe the language in this book. And I was like, lady, I said, it's the end of the world. I said, do you think people are going to say shucky darn? And I said, no, that's not how they're going to act. She's like, well, you don't have to write it. I'm like, no. I said, you don't have to fucking read it. And I just picked the book up, threw it over my shoulder, and I went, next, and just Like, move along. And the other thing was
Fucking hilarious.
Phil Budnick, the guy from Penguin, who I love. Phil, he's a great dude. I had two of my friends, real good friends, there with me, helping me work the booth, and Phil was there to work the booth. And we actually kicked him out. We told him, Phil, go get out of the booth and go walk around and look at this shit. You're breaking into this market. You need to go see what this whole thing's about. Mm-hmm. And he's like, no, I need to be here doing this. And we actually physically pushed him out of the booth, and we're like, go take a fucking walk, Phil. And at the end of it, he came up to me and he's like, I have never had an author experience like this ever. He's like, most authors act like prima donnas and they think they're, Stephen King because they got their book published. Right. And he's like, and you don't behave that way. He's like, and you brought your own help. He's like, that never happens. He goes, right. And we had fun. He's like, this was the best author event I've ever done in my life.
That's awesome.
And so that made me feel good.
Yeah. Because it's also like it speaks to your authenticity, and it's probably the way, I reckon it's the only way you can probably do what you do. It's like by just keeping it real and being you, and letting them come to you, because otherwise it's very tempting. Maybe that's the blessing of having been almost thrust into this somehow, because a lot of people, when you set out to do shit, very often that does not happen, and it's in the sort of a organic process where real stuff can happen, because if you set out to be some badass author, who knows what would have happened, rather than just finding yourself there and building upon it. That's cool.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, that's just a good thing to think about, like, for anyone listening who wants to try these things. It's like, just do your thing and get it. Yeah, fucking, I don't know about magazines these days, but there's so many forums and what places to just submit your work and put an article out and see what happens.
I'm sending you something on your phone right now.
All right,
so check your phone. But yeah, there are a lot of places. Check your phone later. You'll see it. Okay. But it's been a crazy ride, because I never imagined any of this would happen, and it really did build a community. It built an amazing community. We have an event called Mountain Readiness that was kind of spawned from this. That's run by my good buddy Bob Toombs, and we just did an event in Montana. We got one coming up in Texas.
Oh, yeah.
We do one in North Carolina twice a year, and it's been great. But I want to get some of these questions, because they are stacking the fuck up over there. So, Duke, when you read the story, are you reading from the physical book, or do you have something more like a script written out with indications of each speaking person, if that makes sense?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. But back pre-iPad, when I started this, I think I'm not trying to remember, in 2010, my first books I did were from an actual manuscript, and you'd have to pause while you turn the page.
Shit.
Yeah, which is like a little goofy, but quick, right around that time, iPads came into the scene. So, so it's on an iPad. There's no notation of any kind. And I thought I could just kind of wing it in a way when I first started doing this. I'm like just reading a book, and wow. Yeah. So now what I do, although I don't notate the actual iPad with like a digital pen, I create a spreadsheet. I create a word list, first of all, which is like, what words don't I know how to pronounce?
Always send them to me. You know that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And unless it's something I can look up, like, for easily, if it's a character's name. But then I do character breakdown and voice prototypes and accents and all that. So when I go in, I'm not reading from a notated manuscript or digital manuscript, but I have my spreadsheet next to me to kind of go, oh, hey, what did I say about Brent and his voice? Or what did I? Yeah. And I'm like, oh, right, he's from Canada. He might have a little bit of a nasal accent, or he's from Jamaica. Okay, how am I going to do this?
He's going to say sorry a lot. Eh?
Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, eh?
Sorry, eh? Hey, where are you guys going, eh?
Toronto, eh? Send it. Send it, eh?
Send it, eh? And then when you get into accents, you're like, okay, how, like, less is more. Generally, I don't go too hard. I mean, a character like Sarge, for instance, which was always really fun. you kind of go all in because
Yeah.
he's written in a way that is such a throwback and it's such a like the inspiration comes from what's written, right? It's not just
Right.
for the hell of it. And so you're okay,
Yeah.
this guy's a character, this guy might need a little something. But I'll make notes like that on my little, what do you call it? Like a little spreadsheet going, okay, Sarge, cranky, old, maybe a little bit of a twang, who knows,
Yeah.
and then
Yep.
what I'll do sometimes is put prototypes. I'm like, okay, it's Jeff Bridges, it's Kevin Spacey, it's just to give
Yeah.
myself a sense of where I'm going, because I don't sit here and reenact this shit like before I get into the booth. It's really a lot of it is on the fly, so, in terms of like vocal practice. So I go off of like my own notes basically, and I learned that the
That's
hard
funny.
way.
Like you say, you're doing it on the fly, kind of a one
Mhm.
and done sort of a thing. You
Mhm.
go in and you sit down. I write it the same way. I don't do rewrites.
Right.
It's
Right.
a single pass. I write.
Right.
I don't because
Take
I've
two,
learned
fuck
that
you. Right.
We used to do a lot of videos for a website called Survival Dispatch. Me and a buddy of mine, and we hired this new camera guy, and we were out and did a shoot. We shot this video. He's like, "That's great." He's like, "But I'd like to do it again." And me and my buddy John, we both looked at him. And we're like, "What?" We're like, "We don't do second takes." And the guy's like, "What?" We're like, "Yeah, fuck you. One and done. We do one take. We're out here to shoot 8 fucking videos today. We don't have time for retakes, goddammit.
He's like, "Oh, okay, sorry."
Yeah, we're like, yeah, fuck you, man. Told the camera, fuck you. Yeah, we're paying you anyway. We're done with this one. We're moving to the next one.
This guy scares the shit out of me. Fuck.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Well, what I'll do is I'll lay down a voice. I'm like, if it doesn't suck, the engineer kind of makes what we'd call refs, right, or a reference. And so then I'll remind how does Jeff sound? Because right now I'm forgetting Jeff right now, but I'm sure I'll think of it. But it's like, because you forget, and so you go back and against your own what you've done, and then you kind of to keep it consistent. Like especially when I'm doing this Charlie stuff, where I'm like, oh shit, they're talking about something that they're bringing up characters I forgot I even read like from 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And luckily, the benefit of doing an audiobook as a narrator from the same post production house is that they have all the refs in their database, so I can pull stuff from way back when.
Nice.
And I'm like, because sometimes you're like, I don't know if this cat is gonna. Some guy's like, "Here's your paper, Joe," and I'm like, that could be one scene, and then the third book is all about him. I'm like, oh fuck,
yeah,
I gotta figure that. So because you don't know where you're going sometimes, right? So it's good to have all that reference. The more prep you do, so to speak, the better, right? And even with this, because it's like, all right, I need to cross-reference a lot of stuff that you kind of forget, because it's so.
Well, I got some stuff I'm going to email you too that'll help you out. I've got like a summary of the entire series as well as a character list.
No, I'm
got
send
you that,
and that's
okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean that is. It's great, and that's what I was kind of looking at when I was kind of thinking about when we were coming on. It's like, oh wow, there's been a lot of books. Wow. It's funny to look at some of these character names again. I'm like, oh my god, I forgot all about that person.
Well, I'm also going to send you. I have because this thing was fully packaged for production. I've got a lookbook. I've got a sizzle reel. I've got something else. I'm going to email all that stuff to you. Let you check that out. The way we packaged it. Because it was packaged pretty well.
It really is. It's really all this detail is amazing, and very rarely, trust me, from the voice actor narrator point of view, you very rarely get any information in advance, and so I was impressed when along the way where you would send these pronunciations and stuff ahead of time, and I'm like, that's so great, man, because like I said, a lot of these authors are just not even connected at all to the audio portion of their book. It's weird to me, and
I think it's a disservice to the listeners.
Me too. And also like whoa, man, this is a whole nother level. Like this is another way in. And frankly, a lot of people most people are listening to books these days.
It's huge.
And so, it's so that's cool.
So Patrick here is saying if we ever get you east of the Mississippi, we'll get you on a gun range, man.
Fire this thing.
I will show you.
I would love to, man. I would love it.
Oh, Kim Piner, she's got a hot one for you. Here you go. Now you're on the hot.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
you're on the hot.
Go back. I'm back. You know what? I don't have one in my car. And so that, not to disappoint anyone, but I do have, I know, but I do have way more than I ever had. And we have a little storage thing down, and I got like canned food and bottles, like tons of water and all kinds of like my version of something that could at least get me down the road a ways. I live in an apartment, you know what I mean? I don't have some big house. I don't have, I just don't. When I lived in the Midwest, like I'm from Ohio, and like we'd have a huge basement you can put all the shit in, or you build a shed. But here, and that's interesting too. And now that I'm thinking about it, like in terms of like this city folk, people who live in Chicago, New York, LA, or big cities where they don't have land, they don't have a yard, they don't have things that most people in America take for granted, right? It's like, and so where do I put this shit? And am I being paranoid? And you should be paranoid, and all those questions you ask. But I have, what I do have is a first aid kit and a few gallons of water in my car. That's my version of that, but it's not a proper like get out of Dodge bag.
We need to fix that. We will
fix it, bro. I know, man. I don't want to let.
No, we're gonna build you a bag and send it to you. I'm dead,
dude. I'll take
it. You're fucking laughing. I'm dead serious. I'm gonna build you a bag.
I'll gladly take it. But in all seriousness, I did, when I started this, 15 some odd years ago, I honestly didn't really think about this stuff. And I was, younger and more naive, but I think as I got into this and understood that point of view, it was like, of course. And so over the years, the things that I do have in my downstairs unit, like it's way more prepping than I ever dreamed I'd be doing, and in that sense, it would probably unimpress your legions of fans, but it made me think of what do you do if, especially when these fires were kicking off last year. I was like, oh fuck. So I had all that ready to go. We would have been all right. I had some food and water and these things, but it's important, and you don't even have to think the government's evil, or you might think it's evil. You might think it's not. It's really like, what do you take for granted, man? And like, what
the point we like to make, and one of the phrases that we like to use is you are your own first responder, and nobody is coming to save you. If you go into it with that idea that nobody's going to come save you, then
absolutely. And I think especially if you're not, like, let's say you're not in a suburban area or rural area, you just presume that the city that you're paying all that tax into, that people are going to be there, or you just don't. Maybe it's whether it's city naivety or even American naivety to a degree, because we take a lot of our things we have for granted, our safety, a lot of things, American privilege, so to speak. You one maybe not you guys, but like people can take that shit for granted pretty easily.
But you should know better. You live in LA. Call them right now. Call LAPD right now and tell them something broke in your car. Let's see how fast they show up.
I do, but I between going home for 20 years and my own bullshit I've had to deal with here. Yeah, I mean that's when you do think twice, and generally, like a lot of lessons in life, they come a little too late, or they come because of some shit went down and you wish it didn't. And that's what makes you think twice. And that's what's fun about these books. Like, even if 90% of the readership or listenership is already kind of into that way of thinking, I have friends who, this is funny. I went into I had an audition for some show at my buddy's, and he was helping me audition. And he had he's a super left-wing kind of dude. And he's from Mississippi, but I didn't know what his stance on was. A lot of political stuff, re-government or whatever. And he has, he's showing me his AR and all this shit. I'm like, dude, you fucking got tons of gear here. He's like, fuck yeah. And then I saw next to his bed an Angery American book, Going Home.
No shit.
I'm like, no. I go, I'm the fucking narrator, dude. He goes, what? He goes, I don't tell people I read, because everyone's going to whatever, like they're going to be all funny about it, right? And he goes, no, this shit's great. He's like, you're kidding. He had no idea, because I just didn't tell. It just didn't come up. And I was like, that's hilarious. And he's like, man, I love this shit because it's, even though
I love that. I love that.
And he doesn't have some layout like a lot of people have where, and I think even you could admit, I'm sure some people maybe take this a little farther than they even need to, but
the bunker dwellers are out there. They're bunker dwellers. They're
people who they're doing drills like 3 times a day in case there's a nuclear, but generally speaking, he's like, even though he didn't have like, he had his go bag and he had his like sort of city version of it, at least to get him down the road a few days days or whatever.
Well,
and it was it was wild. He's like, dude, I feel bad for anyone who tries to break into this apartment because he's got all kinds of shit. I'm like, you're
well, I'm gonna make you I'm gonna make you an urban bag. The bag you're gonna get is gonna be specifically designed for urban.
Thank you, man. And I'm sure I'm not the only one out there listening who's like, you know what, I don't have like a bunker or a basement, or I don't have a yard. I don't like, not a lot of people like, there is that city element, that would be informative for people in this world, so to speak.
Absolutely. Here's a good question from Van Johnson.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
How long does it take you to record an audiobook from start to finish?
That's a perfectly good question, man. It's so it generally depends on. So what I get when I get the book, they're pretty good at figuring out kind of how long something's going to take by page number or by word count. So if something's whatever, 148,000 words, let's say, and it's like, okay, that's probably 15 and a half recorded. They're pretty damn close to it. So if I've got, okay, this is going to take me 15 hours in a perfect rock star world, if I'm doing everything right, it's like basically a 2-to-1 ratio. So it takes me 2 hours to record 1 hour of recorded time. That's if I'm like just a ninja.
Just hitting it.
Yeah. And for me, now some cats might like, who knows? Maybe they go 3, maybe they're way faster, but that's the industry standard for being like in the pocket. And sometimes you do more and sometimes you do less. And sometimes some books are a lot easier to narrate than others. If it's edited poorly, like you were talking about with like, whoever did the first stuff where the shit's all over, that fucks me up because then I got to spend time to decipher what they meant and can I change your words and blah, blah, blah. But it can take like for a book like any one of them in the going home world, it's like, I'd say 6 to 7 days, and
really?
when I'm in there for about 4 or 5 hours a day and I take breaks every 10 minutes and, you can hear it in the voice that the engineer's like, why don't you go for a walk, bud? Because your voice is getting tired and you're just starting to, because like, you're not, it's human nature that you're not going to be as fresh as you were the second you start versus 4 hours later. So you always want to remind yourself, hey, that's why I love working with an engineer. Like I would not want to do this work solo because you need someone to kind of keep an eye on you. And also you make mistakes. When you're making mistakes as a narrator, you don't even know you're making them a lot of the time. Your brain you get into almost like a meditative zone. And you're just so locked in that you kind of just sometimes make shit up that's not even on the page. I mean, like you can almost hallucinate. It sounds funny to say.
Yeah.
So you take breaks but it's about, I try to get, if I can get 2 hours of recorded time in one session, I feel good. The more the merrier, but 2 hours is good. So if it's 14 hours, that's 7 days. Now, the faster I finish it, the better is for me because I'm only paid for a recorded hour. So I can't just dick around all day long. Like I gotta, but the engineers are paid by the hour. So they are perfectly happy with you fucking around. But for me, it's like, you want to be quick and you want to be effective. But I'd say about 5 to 7 days for a book your size.
That's so here's another question from Guy, the lurker. This is the lurker. He's like, when are you going to show up at Mountain Readiness?
Dude, I'll show up. I want to go, man. I would love it.
If you ever want to come, you have an open invitation.
Thanks, pal.
We'll hook you up, man.
It was funny when I was talking about this and coming on, because it's like, people get attached to, let's say, a voice or whatever, and it's like, and they presume that, I'm decked out in camo and I live in a bunker or some shit, you know, because some
Yeah.
people are like, hey man, what do you do? And I'm like, hey, I'm an actor and I'm reading a book. You know what I mean? I'm narrating a book, but so like it's like, you know, how much do I want to reveal? How unprepped I actually am. But
Hey,
but like I said
it
before,
doesn't matter, man. It's every can you put on the shelf puts you that much farther ahead. That's
well,
it.
yeah,
That's
like
all.
you know, I'm joking about it because you know, if you
Yeah.
know, and you know a little bit about where I am with some
Yep.
stuff. It's
Yep.
like I have to say, and I'm not kidding, that after let's say back in like 2010, 11, like book 1 or 2, I was like, it really did change the way I looked at a lot of things. And not to say that I prejudged it, I probably did a little bit, but not like I didn't really know anything about it. It wasn't like,
Yeah.
what's this shit? I was like, oh, well, I just take, like I said, like my safety, my supplies for granted. I just do. And
Yeah.
at the time I was whatever, you know, 30 years old. I just didn't cross my mind. And then it really started crossing my mind, and I'm thankful for that. And it made me appreciate not only the world you're creating in terms of these characters, but also the subject matter, and and it's good to take this stuff seriously. And yeah, people
That's
can make
awesome,
fun of
man.
it, or people can say whatever they want, right? But it's like, even in the books, it's like, dude, you know, this is what happens when you are prepared. You know,
Yep.
we can have fucking killer dinners and we can do all kinds of wild stuff. And you know, and not everyone who's not into prepping is some like, you know, purple haired, nose ringed,
No.
annoying ass liberal person either. So it's like you can be just a normal Joe who hasn't given this shit that much thought.
Yep.
And that's what's
Yep.
fun as someone who's not necessarily in that readership or viewer listenership. It's like, I'm sure you've converted. I don't know if you've had any experiences
Oh,
yourself with people who are like,
yes.
dude, I just got turned on to your books. I didn't know jack shit about any of this. And I'm sure you changed their mind.
Literally in Montana, I had a guy walk up to me. He lived in North Carolina, but he came out to our Montana event, and he walked up to me and said, your book saved my life because of Hurricane Helene that went through their area. And he's like, it was your books that saved my life.
Dude.
And I've had people tell
awesome.
me that they're like, you know, they send me messages like, we lived in California. You know, we're West Coast people. And they're like, we read these books and we sold our house in California and we have a homestead in Missouri now. We're homeschooling our kids. We're growing our own food. We have our own livestock, and we've never been happier as a family because we spend more time together now. Like those kind of messages are like,
yeah, how does that not like flip your lid? Because it's like you realize like this matters to people, and people, even if it's just entertainment for some and for others, it's whatever, you know, it's like you do think about these things. You can't not think about them after going through these novels, because you're in that world and you're thinking, the first question I'm asking is, what the fuck am I gonna do?
Yeah,
you know, I've got, you know what I mean? I have like a goofy, I got like a little earthquake kit, you know, something I bought at that would it helped me out for probably an hour, you know? So it's like, wait a minute, like I gotta get a little more real about this, because again, I think the tropes and what people can mock, you know, like they can mock, you can mock conservatives in the way you can mock liberals and everyone in between. Right? It's, there's plenty to fuck with, but it's like, you know, you don't, you don't, like, I guess I'm repeating myself, but it's like you sometimes just don't think about this shit until you have to, or there's an earthquake and you're like, uh-oh, or there's a fire, or there's this or that. And, or if it's more nefarious and it's, you know, your attitude about the government shifts and you're like, because when I was reading that stuff, you know, these chapters about, they're just eating chicken, you know what I mean? You got, everyone's having, and I'm like, man, I'm hungry reading this chapter. Because I started feeling like, wow, like that, how hungry some of these other characters would be if they knew what these guys were eating. And it's wow, like what you can do with your preparedness, and also on a maybe a more folksy kind of maybe even saccharine kind of way, the importance of family and and community. Because a lot of people, you could easily think, if you're into the prepper scene or whatever, that you're just like, fuck you, man, it's my world. And it's like, no, it's like you need other people.
Oh yeah.
It's not just go it alone. It's like
No.
if more people did this, we could actually have a society if some shit hit the fan. It can't just be a handful of people, and
Yeah.
you need people, and so I think
No,
that's
no
a good
man,
lesson.
woman, or family can be an island.
Yeah.
It takes,
And
we refer to it as tribe.
right.
And we've got a huge tribe that's spread all over this country,
Mm-hmm.
and we've assisted people in
Yeah.
need that
Right.
were nowhere near us, but we
Right.
had part of the tribe was in their area, and they went out and
Yeah.
helped them.
That's cool.
I've done a bunch of things like that for people.
Yeah.
They call with a problem. They got somebody somewhere that needs some help, and
Right.
I can make a couple phone calls and I can have them help. Ricky Tick, and that's what we
Right.
do for each other.
Right. I think
And
that's
I'm
really
going to read
cool.
this one. My good
yeah.
buddy Alpha Charlie Concepts here. He's a good friend of mine. If you're looking for kit, look him up. He makes really good kit,
Oh,
guys.
cool.
And he said, Duke is to your books what Johnny Depp is to Captain Jack Sparrow. Now that he's narrated them, there can be no one else.
That's awesome, man.
You
Hell
are
yeah,
the voice of going home.
I love
man.
it, man. That's it means a lot to me. Thank you so much. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Let me see here. I'm gonna put this. This is just for this wee feller here. Duke, you need to chew your own ass out in Sarge's voice.
Exactly.
Duke,
what the hell are you doing, man?
Brett, we'll get into this one. I'm gonna put this one up, but we'll get into this one on another discussion. Maybe we'll do a podcast straight on bug out bags because we ain't talked about that in a long time.
You see, there you go.
But we'll address that one at a later time. Because it depends is the answer. It really depends.
Yeah.
Shut up, Mike.
Depends on where you live.
Joanna Wallace, she's been around for a long time. She's like, just came on the internet and seen this. Please have Nick just yell at Mikey once. Sarge voice. I need that voice from Sarge.
Man, are you stupid? Do you even what is in your ears?
Oh,
Sarge.
Sorry. It's so good that you said what's in your ears because book 13's got something about ears.
Uh-oh.
Just yeah.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Spoiler alert.
It's not hilarious to who it happens to, but it is hilarious to those around him. I'm gonna just leave you guys with that one.
That's great. Yeah, Sarge,
Chris, I do have that map up if you're ready.
Yeah, great. Let's throw that. So I want Duke to see it. So there's the drawing of the neighborhood.
Oh, fuck. That's awesome, man.
It shows where Reggie was killed. It shows where Jeff was killed. It shows the bear and the houses and where everybody lives.
Did you
so
visualize?
that to you.
Did you were describing kind of just writing off the cuff or just, as you write, but did you have a visualization of the world before you wrote it? Or did it just sort of like this map came to you when you kind of like, as these stories culminated?
That's actually an exact map of my neighborhood.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Just in the books, I picked it up and moved it somewhere else.
Right. Wow.
But
the specificity is really, I think you could say this probably with any writer who's a good writer. But it really is, it really helps see the world. And so this is even more fun to kind of actually see.
Yeah. Well, I'll email you a copy of that, man.
That's dope.
Cool. Actually, I texted it to you. It's on your phone,
yeah.
too. So.
Oh, yeah, I got it. I got it here. There it is.
Here we go. Right here. Right. This is what we mean by tribe. This is Duke. You have an extraction team 8 hours out if needed. We have to keep you for the apocalypse to narrate it. So we can get you out of LA if it happens.
Thank you, guys. I mean, I shouldn't be laughing so hard because I mean, that's the funny thing is that, like, there's a certain level of absurdist humor to some of it because it does seem wild, right? But at the same time, it's not, and things happen, and who knows where the government, whatever people's opinions are about our current state of things. It's you just shit. I mean, you got to be, you gotta,
Hurricane Helene's a great example of the level of support the government will offer you. And it was a shit show. I've got a very good friend, Stephanie Johnson, who has a book coming out, guys. Stephanie's book will be live on the 28th on her birthday, and we will be having her on the podcast to talk about this. But she lived through that hurricane, and she has done more for the people of her community than any branch of the government ever dreamed of doing. During that hurricane, we had people on the ground, like literally that went there to assist. I couldn't get away at the time, so I was working logistics on the back end. I was getting helicopters flown into people that needed to be taken out. I helped the National Guard find equipment that they needed to airlift stuff. I was working with some guys that were kind of off grid, off reservation, doing their own thing, but we were coordinating with them as well. And that was because the government's response wasn't adequate to the situation. The civilians, and we're more organized than they think we are. We took over. I mean, we had pallets of ham radios being handed out, just being given to people, so there would be some form of communication, so these people could talk to each other. We arranged all kinds of stuff, and mountains of stuff was sent up there by a number of people, too many to mention. So,
well, that's I mean, that's
that's what the tribe comes down to.
It's community, it's tribe, it's also real world shit, and it's like, okay, this is this is why we take this stuff seriously, and the stuff that you've seen, I'm sure will blow a lot of people's minds, I'm sure, because it's it's one thing to fantasize about what may happen in a book, but when you're on the ground and seeing real people needing real help right away, like that's no joke.
And we've got we got people that say they're actively like looking forward to like a civil war here in this country, or something to that effect. And I always tell them, I'm like, whatever you think it's going to look like, that's not what it's going to look like, because the romance never lives up to the reality. I study civil unrest globally. I watch. I'm a big open source intelligence guy. I track a lot of things, and I usually predict some stuff too. I've hit some pretty big ones. I got the word out about COVID before it happened. Even though a lot of people gave me shit when I did it and called me a fearmonger and stuff, but I was right, and I gave them a 2 weeks heads up. I told people 2 weeks ahead of time what was going to happen. And
was that something that you're like, wait, a pathogen, or like there could be a global virus that hits us, or were you privy to some, like?
I got phone calls. When I got 3 phone calls from 3 very well placed people, 1 at the CDC and 2 inside the Department of Defense. And when you get 3 confirmed sources with that kind of pedigree, I believe what they tell me, and what they told me is exactly what happened.
That's crazy.
So it was. We gave them a warning. We gave them a warning.
Yeah. It's it makes you rethink a lot of things. If you're, like I said a bunch of times already, I think it's like whether you already are preparing and you have stuff kind of laid out as best you can, or you didn't give it much of a thought until you might have read the books, or you just, something happens to you and you're like, oh fuck. Well, it's like, it makes you realize how important it is to have a tribe and gear and stuff to take care of yourself when shit hits the fan.
No, and most battles are won and lost in the mind before they ever begin. So having your head in the right place, and the mantra that we go by is ain't dead, can't quit.
Right.
So I'm not dead, so I can't quit. I can quit when I'm dead. So but that's kind of how we go by.
It's good. It's also, it keeps you invested in your life, and you know what's at stake. If you know what you can lose, right? If you know what you can lose, you care for what you take care of what you got, because the shit isn't promised to anybody. I mean, tomorrow's
No,
not promised to anybody. So it's like
no,
I think that's good. And I think sometimes you hear people make fun of this stuff, or they're like, oh God, everyone's just paranoid. And sure, I'm sure there's plenty of crazy paranoid people out there, but generally speaking, it's just about being ready.
just
And
what a
and like
lot
you
of us,
said,
and I
being
look
your
at
own first responder.
yeah. Put that comment back up, Russ. I was gonna touch on that one. Put that back up. But a lot of us, what I like to tell people is, I don't want to be the guy in line, the FEMA line for a gallon jug of water and a bag of ice. Because
Right.
if I'm not in that line, somebody who really needs it can be there.
Right.
So we don't want to be the burden after
Right.
an event. We're trying to not be
Right.
not relying on the resources that may come in.
Right.
Let that go to people who really need it. People who
Yeah.
couldn't afford to prep, or that live in apartment buildings and can't prep. But
Right.
what is it? I don't have my glasses on. I can't read the name. But anyway, I absolutely love the books and Duke's narrative. I feel like Morgan's group is part of my own family. Thank you both. And please keep pushing out the books for Duke to bring to life for us. That's awesome.
Man, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
I love it, man.
For
Yeah,
both of
Morgan,
us.
man. Morgan, it was really fun over the years to kind of invest in that family, because
Yeah.
myself, like when I get to jump back into the world, I'm like, it's like these are all familiar faces. And
Yeah.
I myself am anxious as I'm prepping to learn what's going on. And you do feel like a real kinship with Morgan and Thad, all these, and Mel, and the whole family, his girls. And that's cool. That's a nice comment.
It is. That's a great. That's a nice feel good one, man. Now I don't want to keep you all night. I mean, because I could keep you on here talking forever. But I'm gonna look at comments if we got, because I'm in the pinned ones. Yeah,
I'm cool, man. Fire away if you got any questions. I'm happy to.
You guys got any more? You guys got Duke here right now. He's here to answer your questions. If you guys got anything else you want to ask him, or anything else you want to bring up. Oh, this little fucker. I'm gonna put you on a keychain, Griff, and put you in my pocket. We had our for mine and Mel's anniversary one year. We did a thing at the house here and had it catered and had a bunch of people come, and a lot of these people are in the comments right here that came to this event. Joanna Wallace was in there, and Griff and Joey and Rebecca Gerber right there. So I said publicly, she walked into my kitchen the next morning and looked at me and said, "The shitter's full," because she was staying in our camper. And apparently the caterers had prepared some pulled pork that made 12 people very ill. And it was hilarious. It's a running joke. Yeah, right here he is. And what we've done. Here we go. Shitter's full.
Shitter's full.
Because we had gone to bed. We had people camping on our property. Some people are in campers. Some people were camping in tents. We throw events here at the house. We roasted a whole hog. We do all kinds of stuff here. And we went to bed and accidentally locked the doors, forgetting that people are camping outside. So all these poor people had the shits all night, and they had no shitters to get
Death
to.
by dysentery.
And so in the morning, it was so bad. It was so bad. It's hilarious now. Griff, what did we call it? The Dirty Dozen or something like that? What was the Gerber's in the house? Yeah. Aye, Gerber's in the house. What did we call it, Griff? It was the Dirty Dozen, I think it was. It was hilarious.
The real Dirty Dozen.
Yeah, they were. It was so funny.
Good
and
Lord.
Griff, the one guy in there, he calls me a couple days after the event. He's like, the Dirty Dozen, death by dysentery. We actually have a patch made for it too.
That's a club you don't want to be in.
Yeah, it's really not one you want to be a part of. But Griff calls me a couple days later, and he's like, "Hey, man," he goes, "Did like anybody get like sick?" I'm like, "You're number 12, bro." And he's like, "Oh my God, man." He's like, I can tell you exactly how many tiles are on my bathroom floor because I counted them 100 times. And Mel wanted to be here to say hi to you. Mel wanted to be here to say hi to you real bad.
Oh man.
Because
I love it.
Yeah.
The real Mel.
The real Mel is nothing like the Mel in the books. So Egghead here, our recently retired Crown Eater, running jokes with Mel is which way's north, who's on first, and when are the knives being delivered? That's a whole other one. And when is the next book going to be finished? That's the question I get asked all the time. Is when's the next book? Anytime I show up anywhere, anytime I do anything, it's when is the next book?
You're like, hey, motherfuckers, this takes time to write this stuff.
And they read it in a fucking day, and I'm like, there's no prize at the end of the book. Take your time.
Right.
Enjoy it like a fine whiskey. Take your time.
Your time, savor.
Listen to it again.
Yeah. Like right here.
Oh man.
There she is. There's Mel. North is up. And what's hilarious about that? Yeah. Joanna Wallace bought her compass for the vehicle. We were in Montana, and I was talking to a guy. He said he was giving a land nav class to this group of people, and there was a girl in there, and he was talking about which way's north, and she's like, "Well, it's always in front of you." And he went, "What?" She's like, "Well, yeah, north's always in front of you." And then so he's standing there, and he like turns 90 degrees. He's like, "So that's north?" And then he turns 90 degrees. He's like, "That's north." Turns 90 degrees, and then she went, "Oh, like." Every direction is north.
You're like, what, dude? That's a riot.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Jeanette here. Chris, you write some awesome books, and Duke brings them to life. That is the truth. You do bring them to life, man.
Thanks, man. It's a pleasure.
Like I said, you don't even know the following that you have here and how much you were appreciated.
That's cool, man. It means a lot. It really does, because it's fun.
Fucking Max. The next book 13 will be released on.
That's a burn.
It'll be released on the 29th of February is when the next book's coming out. The 29th of February.
That's
and Rebecca.
We're all
the real Mel is. Oh yeah, they. Well, it's awesome that they push, and they do push, and it makes me get after it and work on it. But I had some obstacles over the last year and a half that really slowed me down, but I'm back to writing again pretty hard. So, right there. Here's one for you. I'm from Amanda. When you start listening to Duke, you don't want to stop.
Amanda. Thanks.
Yeah.
Sorry.
These guys are. There he is.
Sorry.
They said they'll listen to anything you write. I've heard it more than once. They listen to anything you narrate, they would listen to.
Oh, that's cool, man. I love it. It's a fun thing to do. And you want to honor the author's world and always, no matter what you're reading, because it's I think it's important, and people like stories, man. They need stories. And if this is another way for people to hear those stories or get those stories, great. Fuck yeah.
I've listened to Going Home more times than I care to admit. Duke does so good. He's the best booger eater out there. Wait, Sarge has got some new ones in book 13. He's got some new ones.
Some good ones, man.
We appreciate hearing stuff like that, guys. Right there. Thank you. It's it means a lot.
Dustin.
Yeah, it means a lot. These guys, they love you, man. They really do.
Thanks, pal. And I'm happy for your, it's for you in this great community you've built. It's wild.
Egghead's he's one of our tribe, and like he said, his fairly newly college graduated son has listened to the books with him many times.
Cool. Nice,
and that's awesome.
That's great.
September 31st, Rebecca says. Yeah, right. Joanna loves Duke, and Duke can never narrate any other book.
What? Chris has got me on retainer for life.
Yeah, got you locked down.
Hang it up, bro. That's hysterical, man.
And there you go.
Yeah,
it's like Morgan right here with us.
Right?
Yeah. He's in the house.
Morgan. Yeah, it's like that. I just like you've written such a cool, it's like the perfect hero. It's like the guy that everyone can rely on, but is like, he's modest, but he's a badass, but it's like, it's the perfect kind of hero, and I came to really, really, I don't know, you feel like you understand a character when you're performing a character, because it has to sort of affect you in order for you to be effective. And so
he's the reluctant hero, but at the same time feels compelled to step in.
And that's very related, but that's relatable too. It's relatable to the better sides of yourself, where you know that you're not a dumbass and you've made some good choices in your life, but it also plays to that humility of not having all the answers and not, I think that every man kind of, maybe not every man, he's definitely special, but there's a relatable quality to that. And it's kind of like how you wish people would be in that situation, which is cool. It's like you want Morgan around to help you figure some shit out. And the reluctant leader is an interesting position, because it's like, you're the right man for the job, but you didn't sign up for that shit either, and so, and maybe resenting that too in moments, right, where it's like, I don't want to be the fucking sheriff, or I don't want to have to, but everyone needs a leader, and so I guess it's me,
Yeah. He says, Griff here says Duke could narrate about changing a battery and everybody would listen to it. And then this one I think is great.
Negative and you're positive.
Duke, the hillbilly six-pack is awesome.
Hey man, that's about the only way I'm getting a six-pack. Fucking A.
Oh my God.
Ridiculous. I know, it's so dumb. I love it.
Here we go, Jason. Well, now I got to listen to a series just for the fuck ups,
dude. It's gonna be a short drive in the car, bud. There's only about 3. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there's a few. That's funny. It took you don't.
It's Morgan. It's Morgan and Morgan.
Hey, Morgan.
Morgan and Morgan.
Morgan and Morgan. Attorneys at
like
law.
the law firm, like those guys. Yeah.
Oh,
let me see.
Morgan to the rescue.
Did
you model Morgan off of? I have a question for you, Chris. Like, is it kind of like the perfect guy in your head in terms of like do you see that leader in yourself, or is there a person in your life that you kind of thought about from Morgan, or was it just a combination of like the kind of way you would want a leader to be in a situation?
Well, when I first started writing it, for me, going home was like me armchair quarterbacking the what if. What would I do, and how would I do it?
Right.
I wouldn't say that I'm Morgan, because I'm not that alpha kind of guy that gets out there and wants to be the leader. I'm more of the Sigma traits.
Mm-hmm.
I have very much stoic Sigma, almost into what is it, they call it Zeta,
Jesus,
which is a darker Sigma. But a lot of it kind of comes from the way I think,
right,
of how I, like you said, how you hope somebody would behave in that situation.
Right. Right. Like what would be useful? Because even if, because there's all qualities that we possess and qualities we don't possess.
Yeah.
And that's what's cool about writing, is that you can make up whatever the hell you want. And it's like, what would be the way that, to create the least amount of resistance for people to listen to you. It's like, you don't have an ego, you're smart as hell, you've got patience, etc.
Yeah.
And I thought that was like, as a character, as a writer, like it was a very well developed character that was like, as a performer, it was, fun to sink your teeth into, because when you don't know, again, this is more of a technical narration thing. Sometimes when you don't, my job is to find a way to relate to somebody, even if it's completely anathema to what you believe in or whatever, it doesn't matter. Like, and I learned that 30 years ago when I trained as an actor. It's like, it's not about you. You're of service to a story. But it's like with Morgan, it's like the more I got kind of closer to it, you can almost anticipate stuff, right? Like what's going to happen or what, and having that behind you, that almost that subtext, if you will, like what's going on in his mind, because I have to kind of create a subtext in a way that's not on the page. It kind of helps me lead through the story, and so when I show up on scene, I kind of already am, there's a real guy there. I don't know if that makes sense, but
it does.
It's like I got an opportunity to sort of build out like the subtext of Morgan, and which was cool,
Go sit down.
Can you see him?
No, you can't see Duke, but Mel just
you can see Duke. There's
Duke's right there in that beautiful six-pack clean, and there's the real Mel.
Watch out. Hey, real Mel.
I want to come say hi to Duke.
I did.
Oh, and hang on.
Hi, real Mel.
Here, hang on. I'll let you talk to her for a minute. You got to put these on.
Oh, do I?
Yeah,
it's the real Mel. It's the real Mel.
Yeah.
It's so nice to talk with you.
It's nice to talk to you. Yeah.
Your man created quite a series.
I'm gonna run to the head. Well,
run to the head, man.
Run to the head.
Did you think this was going to be like Did you think this was going to be like a 25-year? I mean,
it's going to take him that long to write these books,
right? But when this first started happening, could you have a million years imagined kind of the following or where it would go?
No, Duke, I'm a horrible, horrible wife. I didn't even start reading these books until he was starting book 7. And then I'm like, oh, this might be a thing. Maybe I should
like, what's he doing in that office? I should probably read some of this shit.
Yeah. And I've read them. And I've listened to them many times. I'm listening to 12 now to get ready for 13 because I still haven't got the manual. I've read the first 10 chapters, but I want to start it from the beginning again and read everything he's written. And I just haven't gotten that yet. But people don't talk about his books really without talking about you. Almost everyone mentions you.
Oh, wow.
When they're talking about the books because they love the work that you do.
Oh, well, that means a lot, And as I was saying to Chris.
Go ahead.
Oh no, but it's like you're just trying to complete the story. Like it's on the page and now it's got a little more dimension to it. And as long as you want to stay in that world because there's a legion of fans out there that want to at least hope that they can relate to you, in some way.
Right,
so that's cool.
Right.
I mean, and it means a lot to me. And Chris and I have kept in touch over the years, and it's fun, And he's like, I remember I was going to do this. When are we going to do this? This was a couple years ago, I think, when we were going to do this podcast. And so here we are finally.
Yeah. You've been talking about it for a long time. That's awesome. Well, thank you for coming on. I know everybody.
Oh, yeah. It's my pleasure. It's
getting a
awesome.
chance to talk with you.
For sure. No, it's a real pleasure. And it's been a really fun world to be a part of. And I think you guys
I saw that
really
picture.
Great.
Of you online, and I'm like, that's not Duke Fontaine. And Chris is like, yes, it is. Yes, it is. I'm like,
that's the real Duke. He caught him a wild right there. He was caught him a wild. Look at him in his glory.
That's a 12 pack.
I got a 12 pack. I got a keg.
Yeah, I know. Well, it was great talking with you.
Pleasure talking with you. Absolutely.
Yes,
real nice meeting you.
Hopefully we'll speak again. Hopefully we'll meet in person sometime.
Yeah, I got to come out to some of this. Something.
You need to
pass
come
it
to
over.
an event.
I know, man. I got to do it.
All right, bye,
come out of the shadows.
All righty.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm gonna give you one thing because you're asking about Morgan, who he is, in relation to like me.
Right.
And a lot of these guys, they've already heard this, but like I rolled up on an accident recently that had a bunch of people standing around doing nothing, and I pulled up to it and immediately got out with I have a very extensive trauma kit in my truck. I got out and started tending to these people. I walked up to the car, looked at the driver, and I could tell that he was still breathing, but I knew he was dead as soon as I looked at him. And so I started tending to the passenger in the vehicle who was bleeding pretty bad, and nobody else was doing anything. Nobody was doing a thing. I tended to the passenger, and at the same time, I kept checking the pulse on the driver, but I knew he was not going to make it, and I knew that he didn't have long to go.
Mm-hmm.
And he did die before EMS arrived. And but I tended to the passenger, and as soon as the EMS got there, they come up and they're like check his pulse. I'm like, he don't have one. I said he's DOA. I said, but this one's a trauma alert. And I grabbed my kit, stepped out of the way, threw it in my truck. And
the only one with the kit.
As soon as the ambulance pulled away with the backseat passenger, I drove off the scene and left.
Right.
But no one was doing anything to help people. Everybody was standing around looking. And I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that. I want to be that guy that can do something.
Right.
Yeah.
And one more thing. I just want to answer this real quick.
Yeah.
To whoever had that comment up there a minute ago about who Sarge is based off of. Arlie Ermy. In my eyes, when I see Sarge, that's who I see is Gunny. And then my dad, because my dad was a Vietnam vet in the 101st Airborne. He was a door gunner on Scout helicopters, shot down 3 times, had several medals. And so it's an amalgamation
combo.
Yeah, well, Gunny was a Marine, and I love Marines. And an homage to my dad, the 101st, the Army, So that's what that came from.
That's cool, man. Wow.
Yeah.
So anyway, let me scroll down through here.
Oh.
Wow. Everybody keeps wanting you to narrate a little novella I did called Ramblin' Man, which you would narrate great because we'd have a conversation about that beforehand.
Yeah.
Podium doesn't want to do it, but maybe me and you'll do it as a side project.
Yeah. Ramblin' Man
I'm
needs
down,
to come
dude.
back.
I'm in.
I'm in. It was a good book.
Because it's hilarious. It's based off of the main character in that book is a raging alcoholic.
Yeah. Who
gets caught up in stuff happening. And he's trying to get across the country, and it's hilarious.
It's a good one. It's based off my stepdad, my real stepdad.
And it's based off of one of her stepdads.
Oh, really?
He was,
God, yeah.
He died living in a basement in a barn in his car.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he based off straight off of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, so here you go. Here's the chance. Rebecca wants to know what other books or series like stuff do you narrate? Because she wants to find them.
Duke is nearly exclusively an Angery American enterprise. I did the series Lumera, which is very different.
Oh, you can.
Off planet kind of sci-fi, and I was gonna and the Podium was like, we want Duke to do this. I'm like, okay. And then what else have I done? I'll have to, honestly, like Duke Fontaine is I've been sort of wedded to the survival series, Going Home series, and beyond Lumera.
Fingers crossed.
I think that's it. Honestly,
we're hoping to win the lottery.
Really? Okay. Wow. Well, I'm gonna try to get more stuff out so you have more stuff to read. Like I said, I got a project on deck that'll be more timely, and it's going to involve the surveillance state, and what happens when an ordinary guy, well, not completely ordinary, he's got some quirks to him, but when the state decides that he is an enemy of the state, for no reason other than
politics, or
not even politics. It's just a mistake, but basically he's cast as an enemy of the state, and it's a little bit into the future, and but it demonstrates what one guy can do with just a little bit of technical knowledge, and a desire to not take it sitting down.
Right.
And
that sounds cool.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of, and it's going to be like my other books. In the prologue of that one, it actually says that this is a work of fiction, but it's also an instruction manual if read correctly. So
fucking A. Damn, you have been warned.
Yeah, it's read correctly. It is an instruction manual.
I'm curious, maybe whether it's talking about it right now or another time, about like in other countries, UK, certainly China, surveillance is insane, you know, and it's getting more.
It's here too.
It's here. Yeah.
Here too.
I think it seems to have like fully arrived. Although I don't know if it's at that level yet as it is in like a China, but it's like,
yeah, it is.
You know,
they've done it quietly, and we're there. We're already there.
Yeah. I was watching some footage of these people getting pulled over for their license, you know, total misidentification. Yeah. And like, yeah, of course, you know, you safety and whatnot, but it's like, where do you draw that line? You know what I mean?
So like we live on the edge of the national forest, and there's a gun range out in the middle of the forest. There's nothing around it. But there's a flock camera on the entrance to that gun range. And Dustin there, like I said, I'm not the alpha guy. I'm not the guy that's going to stand up and shit. But
you're pretty.
If you don't know what Sigma is. If you don't know what Sigma is, look up Sigma, and you'll see what that means. But I firmly fit in that category. So. Duke is a beta reader. Yeah, he gets to see it before y'all do. He's the beta reader.
Right. I'm a test mark. How dare you? I'm double Sigma. I'm Sigma minus, Sigma plus. No, hey man, you know, I can hold my own. I've learned a lot from Angery American. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, like right here.
That's so fucking hilarious.
He's getting his ham radio license because of the series, you know.
Good.
That's cool.
We promote the shit out of that.
I have mine.
Yeah. Mel's even got her ham license. She's licensed.
Wow, that's super cool. It's super cool, and I think what you said earlier that struck me the most during our chat is like this idea of being your own first responder is really a nice way of putting it. You know, in general.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
What did that say? That last thing say?
Oh, this was from Griff. This is from, like I said, I'm gonna put him on a keychain one of these days. It's okay if you're not Morgan, you're still dreamy, buddy. Little fucker. So let me see.
Yeah,
one second after. So here we go. This is a good one. From Rebecca Gerber, Miss the Shitter's Fool herself.
Oh my God!
The first one I read in this genre was 1 second after. I picked up the first Going Home book and almost dropped it, but I heard 19 as in the road Morgan was walking, and I knew the area very specifically, so I was drawn in.
Yeah.
See, that realistic stuff gets them.
Yeah, man, absolutely. It's like it and even like if you're not from there, you believe it in your imagination, and if you are from there, you see it. You really see it, and I think that detail is very important, and you absolutely nailed it.
Yeah, and here, like this, you know, your books were the first of my awakening to question everything, you know, and that's
well,
I get
a lot
more out of that than I do. I mean, the money I make on these books is great, but getting people to stop and think, or even better, stop and act, that means a lot more to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's a responsibility that you clearly take seriously, and it's there is a responsibility of that when you have a large audience.
Me on the mic didn't end well. Would that be?
Yeah, that's just Griff talking shit. Mel's asking a question over here. She can't hear, so. Yeah. Chris is like Morgan that he will give you his life preserver to save your life if you deserve it.
If you deserve it.
Kelly knows me. We know each other, me and him.
Have you earned it? Right.
See, the difference is if you don't deserve it, Kelly would step on your head and push you under the water.
Oh, that's hilarious, man.
Yeah, I'm trying. I know I'm way behind on comments, guys. I'm trying to catch up because there's so many. Let me see here. Just see if there's any more good ones in here. Here we go. Oh yeah, all right. Yeah, I agree with this one entirely. Duke needs to be a regular guest on the weekly show just so he can see what all is going on in the world and the shenanigans within the group.
Right.
Yeah, man. Dude, I'll pop in, man. I'll pop in. I want to know what's up.
Hey, drop into it. We do the podcast every Wednesday, and on Tuesdays I do a Patreon, and I want to do this again with you, and I want to do it on my Patreon.
Right.
because it's a smaller group, more intimate, and we can have really cool conversations there. So
cool.
You know,
yeah,
we'll
I'm
give
down.
it some weeks.
Hit me up.
We'll give it a few weeks, and we'll get you into Patreon one night.
Awesome.
Let me see. Let me see. Hey, sounds just like him. Yeah, talking about Sarge, I'm guessing. So, or Morgan, I don't know, one of the two. Griff didn't announce, but you do a good job. Let me see. Duke is. Okay, so this is a running joke.
What is that?
Duke for shit. Mel says.
It happens. Somebody wants a book. Yeah.
The Melisms is what we call it in real life. Now in the books, Mel's different than in real life, and in real life there's Melisms, and one of the things Mel is internationally known for is spilling shit.
Yeah.
Daily, literally, every day, at least once.
Shit, or like just
clutch shit, spill shit, knock shit over. She's internationally known for.
I just did it.
She says she just did it over at a friend's house.
Yes. All over the table.
You know. You know. Thank you both so much for these books. They have become an integral part of my life. Like that's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you're a part of that, dude. It ain't just me.
Man. It's tripping me out, to be honest with you. It's I'm sort of in a surreal headspace with it all. It's great. You know, it's great. I mean, that's all I can say. It's like it's awesome to be a part of this kind of world you created.
And you got crossover fans right there.
Hey, Lumiere, there you go. It's cool. Yeah, it was cool. It was a German book, and they made it. There was an English translation, and I don't know how it did in English over here, but that was fun. Yeah.
If you want to join the Patreon, Lori, you can join it for $1, literally $1, and you can be in the Patreon lives that we do. There's no big threshold. I knocked all that down. A buck gets you in, so
that's cool.
It's pretty cheap.
I'd say.
Let me see. Rebecca says, I know Duke Fontaine is not your real name, but at least give me another book you've narrated. I have like 4 that I think are Duke, but not 100%.
Oh man,
Cry Havoc. Cry Havoc.
Well, my books. She knows my book. She's
Cry Havoc.
So was it Lumera? Was that the name of that other one?
Lumera under. Yeah. So I use an alias. I only have done stuff for you and one other author as Duke. I'm pretty positive, but maybe in the Patreon we'll talk. We'll give you some other info.
There we go. All right. See,
you know what I mean? Not like
another reason to be in the Patreon. If you're
curious, I've done a lot of books in different various names. Sometimes it's my real name, sometimes it's alias, sometimes, and that's for different reasons. By the way, it's not. You know, there's a variety of reasons why that happens.
Oh, I understand why you have to. I mean, I fully understand why. Because you know, and I'll lay it out for these guys. You know, you're an actor. You're in Hollywood, and everybody understands Hollywood, and they would really appreciate him narrating these books. So
I mean, sometimes what happens beyond any perceived politics and shit like that, it's also that's an element of it, right? Like if where do you want to be known, or to get an idea about you, but also it's you get pigeonholed. Like Podium came to me with a couple books. There must be another like, oh well, Duke, he deals with apocalypse and the end of the world, and so let's do this and this. I'm like, well, I do all kinds of shit. Like, so it's like I do thrillers and mystery. I've done like really corny, like dark romance novels and kid. I've done a load of kids books. And so it's a role, it's a part, and and sometimes people, for better or for worse, want to kind of marry you to the genre that you might be known for, not really understanding that this is a role, and this is a hat I put on. And sometimes people want to keep you in that hole, and sometimes people don't want you in that hole. And so sometimes you just use an alias for that kind of reason,
Well,
and this is fucking A. Don't die. We got book 13, dude.
Ain't dead, can't quit. Yeah. Well, we discussed that earlier. Like you can be stereotyped quickly.
Yeah, for sure.
Like you said earlier.
Even using my own name, if I do a bunch of mysteries, it's like I like noir detective stories, but that's not my thing. I like to keep it varied, and everybody likes to pigeonhole you. I mean, that's kind of what they want to do. Like and even maybe yourself, like if there might be a topic that you completely different than the stuff, and you know, why wouldn't you be able to do that if you felt the need, right? I don't know. About Japanese gangsters or some random shit that's like completely not, will your fan base, sometimes you feel indebted to a certain fan base to do a certain thing.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Yes, you did, Lori. She did spill something. But no, I agree with you on that entirely, man. And so too, there's another project in the works for the Going Home series, which is we're going to be turning it into a graphic novel.
Oh, cool.
We're hoping.
So we're going to go that route with it as well.
You're going to go with the Going Home series?
Yeah.
Oh, fucking A.
Yeah.
What have you talked to anyone about like pilots and teleplays and stuff for TV? I think that came up a while ago.
Well, it's fully packaged. Like I said, I'm going to send you our pitch deck.
Yeah.
To look at. About I don't know 6-7 years ago, I made several trips into LA. And like I said, I walked out of all the studios. I walked away from every. I mean, I had one really solid offer. Like, they're talking like $50 million.
What?
For the rights. Yeah. And because Steve Stark of MGM said this is the next Walking Dead, this is the next $1 billion franchise.
Whoa.
And but then they started
you pivot from that. Oh,
because we're sitting in there at the table, and Steve's little assistant was off to the side, Quirtsy, as I would call him. He's sitting over there, and he goes, This would be a great time for us to tell the story of a black man living in the South. And I looked at him across the table and I said, what the hell would you know about that? And just the look on all their faces, I knew then that they had never been spoke to like that.
Sure.
And I said, you have a preconceived idea of what that is. And I said, you have no clue what it really is. I said, and more importantly, my character is not a perpetual victim. Right. So that's out. And then the next thing they said was, they're like, well, we would make Mel a black neurosurgeon who gave up her career to stay at home and raise the family so Morgan could, and I was that's when I stood up and looked at Todd Robinson. I said, Todd, we're done here. I'll be in the lobby when you're ready. Yeah. And I walked out of the fucking room.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to let that happen to it.
No, I mean, I don't know. It's a shame because it's like, I think people as a whole are much smarter than that. I think that some of these people feel like they have to cater to certain things because it's a perceived right thing to do, or it's whatever. But it's like, you got to like we talked about earlier. It's like authenticity is everything, and if you're going to have your name attached to something, I can't imagine you, knowing you a little bit as I do, like you would go for something like that. If you just wrote this thing like on a whatever the fuck whim and like, to do whatever you want with it, man, give me some dough, but it's personal. It's your story. It's like, it's so unnecessary. Like I've heard similar stories of friends with stuff that they want to go in all these directions for very political reasons. And it's like, no, people in that sector, right, tell their own stories.
Yeah.
Why don't you fucking put out their story? Like, because they would want you to, don't turn my story into their story.
Well, and I said that to Steve Stark. I said that to the president of MGM. I said, nobody wants your version of the story. Right. I said, if you will make this exactly as it is written, I said, we will make more money than you can ever dream of, because this is what people want. They don't want, you to take it and woke it up, is what I said to him. I said, because nobody wants to see that shit. I said, that's what you think people want to watch, but nobody wants to watch that shit.
Right.
You know?
And that's true. I mean, I think on any side of the spectrum you may fall. I mean, I think that whether you're left, right, or center, I think that, you know, these studio heads and these suits, they are living in a complete bubble, and they don't really seem to understand what people actually want. And people want authenticity. And I, you know, and I'm sure my friends who are like, I have tons of friends who write TV, or black friends of mine who are, and they're like, these motherfuckers want to take this cat story and sprinkle it with diversity, but I have that script that I wrote that they won't even look at.
Yep.
So how messed up is that? Like, and
just
not
like
to say
this,
that you have,
this comment here. It would make such an amazing TV series if they stuck exactly to the script, but they never would. Well, I don't know about that. Have you seen? And I doubt you have. There's a new film coming out shortly called Infidel, and there's something else, Day of Something. Being that was produced by the Daily Wire. Now it's a very right-leaning outfit, but what it is basically it's a like Muslim Islamic sleeper attack inside the United States. So it's interesting that they made that, and I'm trying now. I've never had an agent. I've never had a lit agent. I've never had any kind of agent. Right. So I'm trying to find an agent now that will approach the Daily Wire with my series, because I think they would do it right, and because I'm not looking at Hollywood anymore. You know,
we can talk some shop about that too, if you want.
I would love to, because I've thought about crowdfunding it, but if that doesn't work, then you're dead in the water, and no one will ever talk to you in Hollywood. Which I don't care about Hollywood. I really don't. I don't want them even involved, because I don't want to deal with SAG, and I don't want to deal with all the other bullshit. Right. I want to make it because I want full creative control. I want it told the right way.
And that can happen, and there's a lot of independent outlets that have a huge reach, actually. And so,
that's who we need to talk to.
Yeah,
I'm just going to read this one because he's mentioned another one of my brothers here. He says, a couple years ago, I drove up to brush beater scout course in North Florida. I told Chris I listened to book 1 driving there, and it was like reading the Bible and going to Israel.
That's hysterical.
Like, oh my God, it's right here. My boy Brush Beater too, though. He's another brother of mine, and he's a great guy. He's got some great books out, and he sells fantastic optics and equipment. And you guys all know brushbeater.store. Check it out. Let me see. Yeah, you're right, Dustin. It's authentic if I put my name to it. I'm not gonna fuck around and do dumb shit.
Yeah, man. I mean, why? You don't need to.
Yes, Will, you are correct. It would be way better than Homestead, and I know the guys that did Homestead. They're friends of mine. Let me see. Just trying to get through some more. I'm so far behind in comments. I'm gonna try to catch up before we. All right, I caught up. So. Anyway, we're 2 hours in, dude, and I'm gonna let you go now.
Absolutely, man. Look, this is long overdue. A real pleasure getting to talk with you and meeting you, Mel, and getting a chance to connect with your listeners. It's been a wild ride, man, and we got some more coming. So
we got a lot more work ahead of us, brother. We do.
Sir. Love it.
A lot more work. So,
and I'm impressed by your fan base and how dedicated they are to you, and that's just got to be a really cool feeling. So nice job,
brother. I remember the day. I remember that day. That's one of those days that's stuck in my memory for good that I can't actually recall because, I know where it happened and
tell us.
I remember. Oh no, I don't need to give all of this the info on some things that happened, but I'll never forget that day. That was a good weekend, but I appreciate you being here because, like, literally, when the books are mentioned, your name comes up. Like you are. I don't want to say idolized, but they love you, They love the work you do.
That's cool, man.
And I love the work you do because I wrote it, but when people think of it, they think of you. You're the voice of it. You're the one that brought it to life. You're the one
that's wild,
that made it real to them. And
that means a lot.
You do such a fantastic job.
Thanks, man. Thanks a lot. You know, I always try to, you know, it's not really about me. It's like you try to honor, I think most actors, if in general, it's like you always want to sort of honor the work, you know.
That's not
you know, and whether that
she's dying to know the other
Patreon.
nom de plume. Patreon, Rebecca. Patreon.
And Patreon,
there you go,
dude. We'll get you the inside scoop. But anyway, yada yada. It's been cool, man. And what I was just trying to say there, it's like all you want to do, at the risk of sounding corny, is sort of honoring the work of the writer, and that's the way I think most performers should approach things. It's like, okay, how can I enter this world and honor what's going on here and get that tone right, you know? And so I'm glad that it's worked out. It's been fun to work on, and I'll see you in the next one. That's for sure.
Yeah. Micah's dad, my boy Kelly here, he hit the nail on the head. You are respected and valued.
Yes.
Thank you.
In this,
well, that
you
means
really
a lot.
Genuine.
It really does, because there was a fear in a way when you enter a particular genre, let's say, that's very specific. And even if you know a bit about it, you know, you're not maybe at the same level as the readership. And so it taught me to kind of learn more about it. And also, like I said already, like just kind of, you know, be a voice that can be believed. Because I think when you have a series, it's not just one-off book. It's a world built. You've built this world. And if you don't really trust that, you know, you're probably going to skip it. And so it means a lot that people seem to dig that, and it's a testament to the series itself, you know.
Well, they do, brother. They really do. And,
to be continued, man. Go finish that book.
I'm working on it. I'm here tomorrow. Maybe all day. I might have to run out, but I'm hoping to be just writing tomorrow.
Good, man.
So try to get it knocked out.
That's awesome,
bro. Thanks for being here tonight.
Of course,
everybody
thanks everybody.
Course.
It's thanks to all listening. It's been a real pleasure to come out of the shadows slightly. And
they've been looking forward to this, and so it's awesome. Great that we finally did. Yeah. And so you guys know the drill. Be good or be good at it, and you can't be good at it, at least be deadly. We will catch you guys next time.
I like it.
And if you want to catch Duke, we will post when he'll be in Patreon, and you can get some dirt.
We'll break it all down. So we'll break it all down.
We'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching.
Peace.
And thank you, Duke.
Man.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, brother.
Means a lot.
Bye, guys. Thanks.
Means a lot.